Hey everybody, it's Sam with Daily Sports Betting Overtime. Guys, yesterday was just kind of another average day. We were 9-8, and it was just a straightforward baseball day. So today we're getting warmed up with some Mexican soccer bets, four of them to be exact, and then we're going to go through 28 different bets on tonight's baseball games. But what we're really looking forward to is tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to get some Major League Soccer back into the mix, and we're looking to make up some of the money that we are down from the beginning of the week where the baseball bets weren't flowing the way we thought. Now, I'm getting tired of baseball. Luckily, the All Star break is hitting at the exact right moment. So, we're going to be concentrating on some college football, some NFL, different things like that. So, that will give us something else to look at. But tonight in Mexican soccer at 8 o'clock, actually, I should say both of these games, both teams have plus money on them, which means they're pretty good bets. So at 8 o'clock, you've got Club Puebla versus Club Leon FC. I'm taking the underdog in this one, Club Leon FC, on the money line at plus 180. Guys, they have been looking pretty decent here over the last, I would say, 3 to 4 games. And I'm looking for them to upset for that plus 180. I'm also taking the over 2.5 goals at minus 121. And then at 10:05 tonight, you've got FC Juarez versus Kataro FC. I'm going to take FC Juarez on the money line at plus 120. And listen up, I'm not doing my normal bet. I'm going under 2.5 goals tonight at minus 175. One of the reasons is these guys, they don't seem to be able to shoot the ball quite as often against each other. They don't seem to get the ball up and down as much. Now, is that because of their defense? Is that because their people actually shooting the ball aren't as good? I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to you. I don't want to really put anyone down or anything, but I do think this one stays under tonight. Now, for the Major League Baseball slate tonight, starting at 6:40. Got 14 games, like I said. We had an earlier game at 2:20 with the Mets and the Cubs. I wasn't extremely interested in that. I think the Mets probably will squeak by, but not enough that I wanted to get this podcast episode early for you guys. I wanted to check some numbers. I also wanted to check some weather. So 6:40 tonight, we're opening up with Philadelphia versus Miami. Guys, I'm going with the home team of Miami. I have the over under on this one rated 8, and we're choosing the over 7 at minus 105. Now, I saw that this number is going up some, so you want to be careful of it. I'm taking the Miami Marlins on the money line minus 165. At 7:05, we've got 2 games tonight. Atlanta versus Washington. I'm taking Atlanta. I've got them almost 2 runs at 1.9, almost 2 runs better than Washington. So I'm going to go on the run line at minus 1.5 runs at minus 107. And then I want to take this one under 9.5 at minus 120. The other game at 7:05 that I'm definitely going to be checking on is Boston versus the New York Yankees. Taking the Yanks on the money line at minus 175, got them almost a whole run better than Boston, and then going over 8.5 runs for minus 105. At 7:07, you've got Kansas City versus Toronto. Obviously, I'm going to take Toronto on the run line because I've got them 1.3 runs better than Kansas City. So going to go with Toronto at minus 1.5 runs at minus 167. And then I got the over 8 at minus 115 with my number being 9.1. We've got two games at 7:10, one of which is Detroit versus Cleveland. I think Cleveland handles this one fairly easily, taking Cleveland on the money line at minus 180, and then going under 8.5 runs at minus 120. My number on it is 7.6. The other game at 7:10 is Baltimore versus Tampa Bay. Gonna take Tampa Bay. They're almost one run better than Baltimore. I think Tampa Bay breaks the streak of 10 straight wins for Baltimore. Taking Tampa Bay on the money line at minus 124. And then I've got this one going over 7.5 runs at minus 105. They're playing at Tropicana Field tonight. And with Tropicana and how it seems like people lose the ball there, the birds are flying around. I've got it at 8.6 as my number, so we're definitely going over the 7.5. At 8:05 tonight, you've got Seattle versus Texas. Guys, I think this is going to be a really close game. I almost didn't bet on this game. I'll just be honest with you guys. But I decided to go with Seattle on the money line at minus 160. And then I'm going over the 8. I'm fairly confident in this one with my number being 9.7 to go over 8 at minus 105. We got two games at 8:10 tonight. First one up is Oakland versus Houston. Guys, going to go with the Astros as we're headed into the All-Star break. They have been tough. We're going to go Houston on the run line at minus 1.5 runs at plus 107 money. And then we're going to go over 7.5 runs at minus 120. The other game at 8:10 is the Chicago White Sox versus Minnesota Twins. Guys, I'm going to go with the White Sox here. I know that a lot of people don't think that they can beat Minnesota. However, I look for the upset. I'm going money line plus money at plus 116. And then I think this game stays under 9 at minus 115. At 8:15, you've got Cincinnati versus St. Louis. Going with the Cards here, St. Louis on the money line, minus 175. And then going under 9 at minus 120. 8:40, I'm looking forward to this game. It's Pittsburgh versus Colorado. I think this is going to have rocket launchers all over it. Going to take the Rockies on the money line, minus 140. I think this goes over 10.5 runs at minus 120. Then we've got the LA Dodgers versus the Angels. Guys, this should be a no-brainer. We're going Dodgers, run line, minus 1.5 runs at minus 115. And then we're going to go over 7.5 runs at minus 120. My number on this is 9.1 for the over under. So we're definitely hoping to fly over on the 7.5 bet. At 9:40, you've got Arizona versus San Diego. San Diego hasn't been playing bad at all. I mean, that may be a major understatement. We're going to take the Padres on the money line minus 190, and then we're going to go over the 7.5 runs at minus 102. And then to end tonight's slate, we're going to go Milwaukee versus San Francisco. Let's take San Francisco as the underdog on the money line plus 105. And then we're going to go over 7 at minus 115. So there is your 32 bets for you guys to pick from that I'm betting on today. Remember, all of your bets don't have to be $50, $25, $100, $1,000, whatever. You can lower your betting unit, bet on more games. I believe in volume betting. And so this is what I'm betting on today. You don't have to bet any of them or all of them. It's your choice. Make sure you're doing your research. If you feel like that you have a problem or anyone close to you feels like you're having a gambling problem, please stop and call 1-800-GAMBLER. Make sure you're answering their questions honestly so they can make an appropriate referral to someone in your local area. If you guys are wanting these bets earlier, or you're just wanting a recap of them, don't forget to go to the overtimenetwork.com. That's the overtimenetwork.com. Make sure you're listening and following this podcast, the Overtime Network, to get your up-to-date free bets for you guys every day. Should be putting down a soccer broadcast later tonight. And for those of you who are following me on Betstamp, the app that I'm using to make sure that my picks are graded correctly, if you're following me on Betstamp app, you saw where I won the overwhelming majority at the British Open head-to-heads. I may be putting out an article on the overtimenetwork.com about who I will be choosing for tomorrow's round. Make sure you remember you need to get those bets in by midnight. British Open, obviously, 5 hours ahead of us. So I will be talking to you guys soon, and hopefully I see you down the road.